welcome back to the channel YouTube gang. For those who don't know, I am your host Major, and if you've been up under a rock, this is the Doghouse, you know what I'm saying? Well, we devote our time, energy, and especially our conversation surrounding them Georgia Bulldogs. Now, earlier today, I was just searching the web, just looking at different things about the Dogs or what's going on with the Dogs. And the biggest amount of intel is the fall scrimmage. So, that's kind of what we want at this point. We want to know what's going on. What are these players doing? What are they looking like? And according to Dog Nation, I really didn't see anything negative coming from those Georgia Bulldogs. So all SEC teams, y'all better look out for them Dogs, man. I was talking about this earlier this week at work. Like, man, I haven't heard anything negative. I think the SEC better be aware when it comes to the Dogs. These Dogs ain't gonna be quiet. You know what I'm saying? These Dogs ain't all bark. We full of bite, and that's all I can say. I'm very excited. I know you guys are excited from all of the stuff that y'all been seeing and I've been seeing and I've been covering. I feel like these Dogs are definitely gonna be in the race for definitely a SEC championship. I'm not going to speak on Natty right now. It's a little bit too early, but we'll get into that later on in the season, determined due to how well the team does later on in the season. So I'm going to start with the captain, as always, quarterback Gunnar Stockton. They said made some nice throws according to the onlookers in attendance. The media was not allowed to watch firsthand, but it was the case of another slow start and the first team offense struggling to get into the end zone. And that's crazy because Georgia seem to have that problem season after season. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I tend to lean to the coaching, and I only say that because, Kirby Smart, you know what I mean, which I love Kirby Smart. We love Kirby Smart, but he is a defensive-minded type of coach. So I'm kind of leaning towards that, but I can't put it all on Kirby Smart because, as we know, Mike Bobo is the offensive coordinator. So we got to get in the rhythm of starting fast. That's something that Georgia needs to get hip to. I don't think Georgia has got hip to it yet. You know what I mean? But we got to get it right. We have to get that right. I think that's something that we really need to be working on. And I think that is something that they working on. Just starting fast. The fall scrimmage is just one of those scrimmages where we started out slow, but we got to get it together, and I think we will. All right, they say a touchdown pass from Ryan Puglisi to a well-covered Noah Thomas in the end zone was among the highlights noted. Onlookers commented on a variety of throws Puglisi was able to make with his strong arm. Stockton is more adept to the two running and knowing the offense, and also offers the ability to extend plays and make yardage on the ground when needed. The third team quarterback Ryan Montgomery opened some eyes with his ability to manage the team and make plays. It was not against the first team defense, but Montgomery, who injured his knee at the start of his senior career in Philly, Ohio, and missed UGA spring drills, it was a promising addition. Okay, so just with that alone, it's basically saying that Gunnar is the guy. This is what everybody is saying. Gunnar is the guy. This is what the coaching staff is saying. Gunnar is the guy. So I'm just going to roll with the punches. That's just how I feel about it. I'm a dog to heart, so I'm going to just roll with the coaching staff is saying until I see otherwise. But I am a fan of Ryan Puglisi. So I will say right now, as long as if Puglisi stay healthy and he stay with the Georgia Bulldogs, I will be team Puglisi. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming his highlights, and that's something that y'all can go find on my channel. Also, look at the Ryan Puglisi high school highlights, man. He looks very good, and I'm sure it's going to translate over to the Georgia Bulldogs. Ryan Montgomery, I also have his highlights as well. I don't know too much about Ryan Montgomery. As they say, his knee went out or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, I think, it's just good to have quarterbacks in that quarterback room. We've been struggling with that. You know what I mean? Just having healthy quarterbacks, having quarterbacks that can get the job done. We've always seemed to struggle with that at times, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. I think the quarterback room is going to be pretty good. So then they start talking about Zachariah Brand. They said he looked like everything that was expected when UGA paid to get him out the transfer portal. On3 Sports having reported that the USC receiver to a valuation of more than $1 million. Branch put a move on talented Georgia safety KJ Bolden on a play that left onlookers impressed with his open field quickness and running ability. Now, everybody's been talking about how fast this guy is. I really want to see it. I can't wait to see it on field. I can't wait to see it game day, man. But I also think that guys like Noah Thompson, Kobe Young, and even Dylan Bell, I think guys like that are going to show up this season It feels like a different energy in the wide receiver room this season. I think that, they were saying that Kobe Young is one of the leaders, but I think Dylan Bell will be one of the leaders also in that wide receiver room, and it just form that chemistry that we didn't have last season. So, it is what it is, but we gonna get it. We gonna get it right. Trust me, y'all. We gonna get it right. They say Bolden, it should be noted, was otherwise sound and all over the field defensively. I mean, I expect that. Tailback Chauncey Bourne was another impressive performer, showing a blend of speed and power with his 225-pound frame. That's good to have a big body guy back there, man. Tailback Roderick Robinson also had an impressive run, with Nate Frazier saw limited snaps. It says freshman Bo Walker was not afforded any real space to break loose on his handoffs. So that's basically saying that Bo Walker couldn't do nothing with that defense. But Nate Frazier, with them saying he had limited snaps, I don't quite know what that's about. But if I can say, I would think that it's probably they want to make sure that he's healthy coming into the season. You know what I mean? Because you have no experience running backs, and Nate Frazier to me, he has a good bit of experience, but he doesn't have that much, especially being the number one running back in the room. I don't think, they want to risk him right now. So they, gave him limited snaps, but that's cool. It's all well, fine and dandy. You know what I mean? Let's keep him healthy for when game day starts. And then they say Illinois transfer Josh McCray did not take part in the scrimmage. It was seen running in the end zone. Smart said the 240-pound McCray was ill last week, and it appeared he was still not back to 100%. So that's good, man. Keep him out. Have him starting on small things, till he can build up to where he needs to be. We need healthy running backs in that room. And that's one of my favorite positions, and that's one of the positions that I feel like we have slacked on at Georgia year to year. We kind of slacked on that running back position being RBU, and I think we need to get back to it. Then they say cornerback Ellis Robinson V made plenty of plays on defense and coverage, grabbing one impressive interception while rotating first team reps with Daniel Harris. Now, they've been speaking highly about Daniel Harris also. I don't know if I'm assuming those two guys, Ellis Robinson and Daniel Harris, are going to be fighting for that position, but it's good to hear that Ellis Robinson, which was a highly recruited cornerback coming into Georgia. It's real good to hear that he is in the fold of things with Daniel Harris trying to fight for that position. It said it appears that the competition for the starting spot opposite of Dalen Everett will carry into the season, with Robinson looking and playing more physical than last season. That's a good thing, y'all. They say freshman defensive lineman Elijah Griffin, we've been hearing a ton about him. That's a big boy also. They say freshman defensive lineman Elijah Griffin rotated in the first team lineup, lived up to his hype, showing his power and speed. That's a good thing. Christian Miller, however, was the most unblockable per onlooker, showing the sort of playmaking and leadership that Smart said last week he expected from the veteran. That's good. Tight ends Lawson Lucky, Jaden Riddell, Ethan Burrow all had good days catching the ball, while veteran Oscar Delp had a ball off his hands and got it intercepted. All right, so to the tight ends, man, I think a lot of us want to see that Brock Bauer style tight end. I don't know if we're going to get that with Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, Jaden Riddell, Ethan Barber. Hopefully I'm saying his name. Barber. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. But I don't know if we're going to get that type of caliber of player. I hope we do get it. I've been leaning towards Lawson Lucky a little more than Oscar Delp. I kind of feel like Oscar Delp is just playing his cast role. I don't think he's playing up to his ability to become the star of the role, but this season, who knows? You know what I mean? This is just small intel from a fall scrimmage. So we don't know. He might come in and be the star that we want him to be this season. So moving on, they say freshman receiver C.J. Wiley and Taylor both flashed playing well enough for those watching to believe that they will be a factor in the game plan along the veterans Branch Thomas and Kobe Young. So that sounds pretty good. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, great. That's even better for us. But I don't see that happening with CJ Wiley and Taylor actually coming in this season, probably early with the first two scrub games. But outside of that, I don't really see that happening. I see them trying to, let them guys sit back and watch the veteran guys and wait for their chance to get in and do their thing. They say London Humphreys also looks strong, particularly on the downfield catch on Stockton's well-thrown passes. Okay. He'd been throwing some long passes, but he didn't score a touchdown. Polisky did, though, but I'm not trying to start nothing. Anyway, the offensive line looks solid and got enough push to convert on some short yardage run situations, though it was hardly perfect against Georgia's talented defensive line. Good thing. It's safe to say, based on the onlookers report, Smart will be able to provide plenty of direction as the team works to polish up for August 30th. Let's go, dogs. We ready. August 30th. That's when we gonna crank up, baby. August 30th, opening game against Marshall. Now, we know it's Marshall, but we got to see what these guys gonna do, man. We got some new guys out here, so I can't wait to see. It's important to note that Smart doesn't script the Georgia scrimmages to be pretty so much as challenging the players compete and while exposing areas of the team that need improvement. Yeah, man, I think this is going to be a good season for us, man. I think this is going to be more of an enlightened season for us as far as what these new guys can do. What can Mike Bobo do to get these guys open and to get Gunnar Stockton in the best position to win? I'm so ready to see this defense. A lot of our defensive guys, went off to the NFL once again. So, I'm ready to see how well this defense bounced back. I'm ready to see how well this offense bounced back. This offense has to redeem themselves from last season. The fan base we're dying for this. You know what I mean? So at this point, the Georgia Bulldogs as a whole seem like they're legit. You know what I mean? From this article, they seem like they're legit. We just got to see what it do, game day. So, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all stay tuned to the Doghouse. You already know what it is. I'm your host, Major, and we out this thing. Go Dogs.